Hi, and welcome to Run Tall with Tim. I'm Tim. Thanks for being here. I always appreciate the time that you and I get to spend together, so thanks for tuning in. And I hope wherever you are that you're happy, healthy, and staying safe. Today is Sunday. It's a rest day, so it's a perfect chance for us to look back at week number 5 of our marathon training program, or what I'm calling the Road to Bayshore, and debrief those trainings and all those different workout sessions that we completed. The weather continues to play a major role in not only completing the different types of workouts that it has been calling for, but also in the shoes I've been able to wear. It's been a little bit up and down, and sometimes a little bit dicey and even scary to be out there trying to run on some of the road conditions that were available to me. Saturday was probably the worst of the bunch, and that was our long run day. It was just so bitter cold and windy and icy and just not very pleasurable to be out there. It was about 18 degrees Fahrenheit, but the real feel was about 6 degrees when you factored in the wind chill. So I wasn't able to really wear the shoes I wanted to wear on some of those speed workout sessions. I had been wanting to put some more miles into the Nike ZoomX Streak Fly because I want to complete the review for all of you. But I wasn't able to really log any additional miles into them last week, but hopefully this upcoming week we'll be able to do that. So let's just kick it back to Monday at the start of the week, and we'll go through those different workouts that were completed. So today is Monday, March 7th. I'm going to be doing some speed work today, but to see which shoes I'm going to be able to wear, let's check in and get a sense of the weather. Alexa, what's the weather forecast for today?
In Langsburg, there's a winter weather advisory in effect until Monday, March 7th, 4 p.m.
Okay, so the Nike ZoomX Streak Fly, it's going to be pretty much out of the question for today. It's going to be back in the Nike Pegasus Trail 3 shoes to be able to do the best job that I can. Obviously, I might not be able to get up to threshold each and every interval just because I'm not really sure what I'm going to be facing out there. I think there's a good chance that the roads are going to be icy, the sidewalk's going to be icy, so I'm going to do my best just to keep from slipping on the ice today. As you can see, it's not the best of weather. I kind of wish that I had the Gore-Tex version of the Pegasus Trail 3s on because there's a lot of water out here, a lot of slush. The pavement is just a little bit frozen, so it makes it slippery. So not the best of running conditions. So, I'm just going to do the best that I can. So before we take a look at those intervals and how they turned out running in the Pegasus Trail 3, I thought I'd just take a quarter step back. I started to mention when I was in the kitchen that this plan calls for 5 days a week of doing something towards meeting our marathon training plan. And on that 5th day, they had me doing some cross training. But let's take a look at the week in total. So I'm already logged in to connect.garmin.com and brought up my training plan. So I'm going to turn and look at the computer for a second, and we'll just kind of walk through the week's worth of activities. So here we can see right off the bat that we had a rest day on Sunday. Always enjoy the rest days and appreciate that. And then we had some intervals that we were talking about, and we'll look at those paces and how well I did or didn't do. And then on the 8th was a recovery run combined with some cross training. So that was a 2 for a day. And then the 9th was cross training. And here you can see that they had me doing 20 minutes of some core exercises, 20 minutes of some body weight exercises, and then 20 minutes of some leg exercises for a total of an hour's worth of work. The 10th was a rest day. And then Friday we had some intervals again on the 11th. And then Saturday again was our long run. So I'm going to back up now and we'll take a look and see how those intervals turned out that I was running in the Pegasus Trail 3. Now the format was to run for 6 minutes at threshold pace with a 90-second recovery time, and then I repeated that 5 different times for a total of 30 minutes running at threshold. So let's take a look at the interval pace themselves and what I was able to achieve in that Pegasus Trail 3 shoe. With the first interval, it was a 7:17 minute mile, and then a 7:14, 7:23, 7:31, and then a 7:37. So clearly I got a little bit slower. But that's the thing about running that threshold. The pace isn't always reflective of the effort. It was cold. I was running in a trail shoe. It was a little bit icy and slippery. And for some of it, I was running uphill. Of course, some of it I was running downhill. But the perceived effort is sometimes a little bit more accurate than the actual pace that you've achieved. And so overall, I feel like I did get the workout that it was intended to do. So today is Tuesday. I'm out on a recovery run today, so just a nice little bomb around town. No pace required. Just kind of get out and enjoy the day. It's not too bad, really. It's about 33 degrees, so a little above freezing. So let's go back to the computer and we'll take a look at that recovery run, see how it turned out. Now, I was wearing the Nike Invincible run for this. And I know what you might be thinking if you've been watching the channel for a while. You know that my favorite, most comfortable shoe was the New Balance Fresh Filmora V3 of 2021. But after a couple hundred miles, I kind of felt like that midsole, the air just kind of got let out of it. So they're feeling a little flat to me. So I've switched up. I've been running in the Invincible run more lately. And it won't be too long, and I'm going to have 100 miles on those shoes. And I've been really limiting the miles because they do feel a bit unstable for somebody who overpronates like I do. But they've been feeling pretty terrific. So let's take a look, and we'll see how that recovery run turned out. And the pace that I was able to achieve and maintain at a pretty comfortable rate for a recovery run in the Invincible run. So let's go ahead and click on recovery run. And here it comes. So you can see I went 4.71 miles in total, and I was averaging an 8:39 minute mile pace. So that's pretty darn quick for a relatively heavier shoe. That's intended for maybe slower paces, but that ZoomX foam, that felt pretty lively, and it feels best to me when I'm running on, of course, my mid to forefoot of the shoe. So, the 8:39 minute mile and might be a little bit faster than what I might have been intending to go for a recovery run, but it was comfortable. So, hey, I'll take it. So today is Friday. Got a little speed work to do today. And of course, Mother Nature hit us with 2 or 3 inches of new snow last night. So I'm just going to do the best I can, as usual. The format for today is I'm going to be running at threshold pace for 5 minutes with a 1 minute recovery time. And then I'll repeat that 6 times with a 10-minute warm-up, which I'm doing now, and a 10-minute cool down. I'm wearing the Nike Vomero 16s today. We'll just see how it goes. I had really debated whether or not to use the Nike Pegasus Trail 3 or not, just because of all the new snow. But after looking out my window and kind of doing a little bit of an assessment, I thought that these would be okay. And mainly because they've got a really good outsole. It's all covered in rubber with that waffle pattern. So I thought it would do a pretty good job keeping me tight to the road, but we'll let you know how it goes. These are not my favorite speed day shoes, but I think they're gonna work. Either way, we're gonna get it done. So let's take a look at the intervals and see how they turned out. To do that, I'm going to the app that's on my phone. I think that that's just a really convenient way to find that information, but there's also some additional information there as well. And as I scroll down here, you can see that one of the things that I find that I like to look at anyway is what effect that the workout has had on my training. And in this case, this threshold workout had a positive impact on my VO2 max. And that's good to know because it's something that I definitely need to continue to work on. Now, as we scroll over, we can see the interval times themselves. And I started out running a 6:59 and then a 6:58. 7:07 minute mile, 7:09 minute mile, and then the last interval was a 7:11 minute mile. So overall, not too shabby in the Nike Vomero 16s. The road conditions were kind of lousy, to be honest. It was pretty slippery, a lot of ice that I had to contend with, and because of that, the sidewalks were not were not something I could run on. So I had to run all of these in the road, which meant that I needed to be very aware of my surroundings and oncoming traffic and things along those lines, just all of the dangers that that presents. And at times, because of the traffic, I wasn't able to maintain the pace, that threshold pace that I was trying to, and it did kind of slow me up from time to time. But overall, we got it done. I thought it was pretty successful. So today is Saturday. It's our long run day. It's going to be an hour and 30 minutes plus a 10-minute cool down. I am going to take a little nutrition with me. You know, it's kind of that length of time where I could probably get by without it, but I'd like to practice still. It's something that I definitely need to work on, that and my hydration to get a little better at it. So I'm going to be taking along the Sports and Science Gel today. It's cold again, so it's right now I think it's 18 degrees, but the real feel is 6 degrees, and that's Fahrenheit. So 18 degrees Fahrenheit, 6 degrees real feel. So it's cold and it's windy, and if I take one of my bars, I know it's going to freeze, and I'll be chunking it up. So I'm going to try this, see how it goes. I've used these in the past. I kind of moved away from them a little bit. I was out doing some trail work over the summer, and I had taken a couple on one occasion, and it caused some stomach upset. So I kind of moved away from those, which is why I moved more towards the bars. But I took one the other day just to see how it was going to set with my stomach, and it seemed to do okay. So I'm hopeful that today will be the same. I'm also listening to some music. You might have seen my earbud review recently. It's so nice to be able to take some music out on the road again, you know, for my run, because I just haven't felt safe doing that in the past because I couldn't hear the traffic around me, and it can be a little bit dangerous and dicey, especially this time of year when I have to be on the road so much. So I've got them in transparency mode, so I can listen to my music, rock out to a little AC/DC or Ozzy Osbourne, Ozzy with Randy Rhoads, not Ozzy with Black Sabbath, when I'm out cruising around the town today. I'm also wearing the Nike Invincible run for the workouts. So let's go on the computer and see how that long run turned out. And to do that, of course, I'm at connect.garmin.com, and I'm in activities page. So let's go ahead and just click on long run. And here, as it comes up, you can see that I went 11.65 miles, and I was running at a pace of an 8:40 minute mile in the Nike Invincible run, and that felt pretty comfortable. At times it was a bit of a challenge, but it was just so cold and just windy. It was at times when you're running, with the wind to your back, that's awesome, but when it's in your face, you feel like you're really working hard to get there. And an 8:40 minute mile, that was pretty close to what I was trying for. I was really looking at trying to keep that predicted marathon pace that I came up with last week, which was an 8:45 minute mile, so a little bit faster than the predicted pace, but it felt okay, especially under the conditions and for being fairly early in our training. Now, we're just completed week 5, so I have 11 more weeks to go, and hopefully that 8:45 minute mile pace that I was shooting for will come pretty comfortably when marathon day comes. But there's a lot that can happen between now and then and on race day, so we're just going to have to wait and see how that turns out. Hey, thanks for making it to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it for you. As always, run tall, run strong, be kind to one another. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on Run Tall with Tim to continue our marathon journey.
Out in stormy weather, I might have the blues, but nothing ever stopped me from dusting off my shoes.